Okay. So stages are not committed. Okay. Yes, because we have done some changes. But instead of, if you remember what has been done, what was showing in the initial, and this is now is modified. Okay.
Okay.
So now it is saying no changes are added to commit again. Okay. So now what happened? Okay, something happened. Maybe some files are added, some file has been changed, right? So how to see what happened over the time? There is a command called git diff. Okay, that takes you through each of the file and show you what is the difference. You see there is a plus plus.
Hmm.
So what it says, I've added the test.js. I included a word called hello 2. Test 2 added a hello. Test 3 added hello 3, right? So by this, you can see differences of all the files.
Okay, but okay, fine. Yeah, there's a tool
I'll,
which will. Yeah.
but the thing is, as I say, right, you don't feel any UI stuff. But once you start using it, this will be super good because we used to. I mean, other visual tools and all that. It may be little complicated to remember, but you have to have hands-on. Okay. Now what happened? I've added the three files.
But there are extra tools also, right, for this?
I haven't. Yeah, there are tools are there from the Windows side. I haven't used the Windows tools. I don't know. There is a tool, I think. Windows has a tool for that. See, even there is a thing called this one. If you see on your VS Code, you have a version control plugin. Okay, you see that tells you what has been changed. You can do a plus to move to the staging area, like a stage. We are doing add, right? Add plus plus add and add star and all, add dot and all. We are doing, right? That you can do, and by this you can see the diff also.
So
You
when you
can
saw
discard it.
when you click on this diff, what will happen? Show me.
Let me show something with the index.js. It will show uh, opening a file. Yeah, you can click on the M folder, M icon. There is M is saying modified, right? It says there is nothing here and there is one is added here, and that is added by me 3 minutes ago, uncommitted.
Hmm.
So this is a separate tool. Okay, this is a Git lens. There is a tool called Git lens plugin. Okay, but this is a Git plugin that takes care of your version controls and all that.
Hmm.
Okay, and one thing, maybe it maybe looks little complex, but this is how the industry works with this.
No, but
So
when you have to compare large files and integrate, I think this will
uh,
be challenging, right?
yeah, definitely. I'll
How
tell
would
you
they?
that. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. That is a problem of art development. Okay, I'll come back to that. Mm. Okay, now we included three changes. I'll do add, then it will say get status. It is saying that like staged, you can commit it now, saying a message, added a content. Now you see git log now, and you'll see two check-ins have done. And first content is that added first commit, and second is added a content. So this is the very basics of creating a repository and creating of files and checking the files and all that. Now there is a question resides when I'll use the GitHub. See, if you see now, you are able to maintain the SVN in your local, and you are able to keep a copy of your files, and you can keep a copy of traces of changes whatever you have done over the time. It is easy to track it. Okay, only you need the GitHub. You need to share this repository with another people who can contribute to your project, right? So that time only you need it. So on the other hand, what will happen, what GitHub will do, GitHub definitely will implement the Git, so that you all have a same understanding of what has happened, right? So what you see in the local, if the GitHub also implement the same, you will have the same flow. So that is what GitHub is doing. There is nothing GitHub is doing.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's come back to the slides. So now there is another way, but I don't know whether you wanted to try. Initially, what we did is we used a folder and created a called a Git in it. Also, we can go directly create a Git in it and the folder name. So that creates a folder and the initializes the Git repository.
Okay, that means you have to be
Okay.
one level above the current folder, right?
Yes, yes. let's say MySpace is my current folder. You can do directly git init and the repo name. Okay. Uh, okay. That's okay. Okay. So what we did so far now, and we know the what is a git status shows the list of files for staging, and we know what is a staging. We are preparing for a check-in. How we are preparing for check-in? We are adding using git add dot, or we are using git file name dot txt, and we can remove the staging. I mean, back to unstaging, you can use this command, and after that you can use a git commit, and after that use a git log. Make sense? Okay. I'll come back to the git reset and all that. Okay. Now what we'll do is, now come the another question that, so one, let's say we have a big development. Okay. So what we'll do is we write a big code and all that and all that, and we'll see, and then we'll implement and all that. Okay. But fundamentally, what happens is in the real development that uses a Git, right? We won't write 1,000 lines of code, okay, and we'll check in one shot, okay. So we'll take small pieces of the bug fix or enhance, and we do check in, and we'll do that, okay. So
Yeah.
what I'm trying to tell is, we won't go as a big check in, take 100 files at a time to check in, okay. Now imagine you are going that way, it has become hectic for the reviewer to review our files and tell where is the problem resides, okay. So for example, at a time you are fixing a 10 bugs, right? So what basically we do, we fix all the 10 bugs, we put into one check-in, and we'll say fix bug 1, bug 2, bug 3, bug 4, bug 5, or bug 10, right? Now ultimately the only person who knows the bug, they know what is the file related to, what is the changes,
Right.
right? But imagine in a world of open source project, this is very very highly complicated. You cannot take 100 bug fixes at a time or 10 bug fixes at a time to do this, okay. There comes a question how to sort out this, okay. So there comes the answer called branching out. This is called feature branch, okay. So what is mean by feature branch? Okay, now so far, so now you see something in your in my highlighting saying that master, right? Imagine this project I'm hosting on the web as a GitHub repository, right? So what I'll ask, okay, Suraj, you enhance the component 2, you enhance the component 3. Okay, Sijo, you take the component 4 and add it, or else Sijo, you fix the component which has a bug in the component 4. Okay, let's say. So what we have to do is we have to create a one feature branch, and then we have to work on only one bug at a time. So that means you have 10 bug fixes, you have to create a 10 branch and you have to commit it. So how that works? Okay. So now we have the reasons to think about the branching out and to simplify our problem. So what we do, we have a master branch that is a parent branch, right? And then imagine if everyone check in into the master branch, it will become a problem, right? So we won't allow that. That's why we have authorities to check in the process in pointers also, right? So in the same way, in the open source project also, not everyone allowed to check in on their code base. So what they can do in reality, right? So they can branch out, and then they can create a code or change a code on top of the branch they've done it. Okay, let me show some like a picture. Okay, what we'll do not this. Let me go back. Let me take you to something. Okay, let me go back to branching it. Okay, that's okay. What you have to understand this picture, I'll show you. Array Bhagwan, how to close all this. I'm not able to close. Okay. Now see, there is a master branch. That is what here called as a main branch, right? So you could see the picture where C0 call as check-in 0 and check-in 1. Okay. Now imagine I want to check in, commit another check-in, commit, let's say I'll commit. So that will become a C2, right? And again, I'm adding some new files, changing something, it become commit 3. Cool, right? Now come the question. So till this is the latest branch. So what we do basically, before we start a development, we delete all our code, We check out a new code and we develop it. But end of the day, we merge it into the master only, right? That's how we do. What if there is a choice called I will take my own branch. I'll take a copy of it by the time when we are taking the copy of the latest code, right? So what I'll do is I'll create branch called git branch bug fix. I'll say bug fix like say some I wish number. Let's say 1234. So you see there is something is added here, right? Bug fix 12. Because supposed to come 1234, right? Now what happens? I created a branch from the main branch. So by the time when I created a branch, so my branch and my new branch are up to date. Okay. So now I'll do one more command called git checkout my branch name. Okay. What is it? Oh, there is nothing called bug fix. There is something called 1234, right? Okay, what happened?
Just 1, 2, I think.
No. The rest bug does not exist or is unknown. What is
I
it?
just want to, I think.
Okay. Okay. Commit. See, if you see now, I don't know why it is already. I said git 1234 only. See, there is something name was truncated to 9 characters. That's why it look like.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now you see this main is not moving, but your bug fix is moving. Do you see that?
Yeah.
The animation, if you see, your main is stopped at the C3, but your bug fix started from C4 and C5. So what it implies, right? You are taking your latest master branch and you are trying to add a new feature. So what you are doing is you are creating a separate branch and you are adding functionality on top of it. So this will stay in the same place. Okay. You add a new features and add a functionality and test. So that means you take entire IGO code and you create a separate branch. So what the industry call this as a feature branch. Okay. So the feature branch, you may be adding a feature or enhancing a feature or fixing a bug. This is called a feature branch. You take a new branch out of the existing master branch, then you create a feature branch and you include the functionality or changes as like what we are doing. And once we are done, okay, now what happened? So we have taken the latest code and we created a branch and we written our code. Now it's a time to check in our code. Okay. Now tell me, is it someone permission you need to check in into the feature branch? You don't.
No, you don't need.
You don't need actually, right? You can check in. But when you need someone permission and you have to tell, oh, Suraj, I've done this changes. I want to check in this. Can you check in or merge this code into a master? Okay. So what you can do is as a developer, you change your code and you test your code and you prove that your code has done everything. Okay. And say that I've done it, my check-in. I'll raise a request to my manager. That is called pull request. So that is why in Facebook also you see something called pull request. Okay. So there is an issue can be opened. You can take the one of the issue and you can create a branch and you can change the functionality and create a pull request. And that pull request will be reviewed by some people. If you take a fix missing else, what they say, fix for missing else statement in React DOM server format configs blah blah blah. Okay. And someone someone started commenting, okay, I did this. Okay. Then there is something bot has run. Some bot is there that runs some sort of a code coverage or something, and then all checks have been passed, and finally the branch is no conflict with the base branch. So finally look like it's still open. You see it's still open, right? And if you see there is it is not much, it is not taken to the main branch. There is something you see am in some colon main Facebook colon main. So that means what they did is this is a main branch, this is a feature branch.
Okay.
Right. So they created a copy of the main branch and they created a feature branch with this name. Okay. Once they done it, they did some changes. If you go to this file says, okay, oh, there is something missing. So I removed this line. Instead, I added a else, then I added this. Right. So this is what insertion and deletion, what we seen in that. Okay. Similarly, you can see through the files. So now here there is no like you have to stand by to say your manager say review your code and confirm it. Okay, go on. There is nothing. Okay. Now your manager review your code, and once he says there is a way you can add a reviewers in places. I think since this is not coming, maybe in my thing, maybe it is there. I'll show you that. So once they confirm it, and they maybe automatically this is bots are running because this is a pre-configured. This automatically runs, may say fail or succeed, and after that all the checks has been passed, and they'll say merged. Okay. So we'll take one thing which is merged. Let me see what is merged already. There is a pull request. Let me go to the pull request. There is no easily. They won't merge it very easily. CL is signed. What is the green color? So this is merged. Okay. 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 New pull request.
That is still open.
That's still open. Branch has a conflict must be solved. That's okay. And there also you'll get conflicts anyway. So you'll have that problem. Like we are facing the as someone already committed some change, and like that, right? And you have a conflict between your code and their code, and you have to take either your code or their code. That basically what we are doing today. Okay. So this is actually a process, right? So now what you understood now is you create a code and you post it in the thing, and you create a feature branch and you work on it. So whenever you see the GitHub, you always eventually happen to see this. They take a main copy and create a new branch. Okay. And also one feature at a time. So you have to create a one branch at a time for one feature. Don't create one branch with the 10 features. Okay.
So I think there is a naming convention for the branch features, the feature branch, right?
No.
Yes,
See, that's up to you. No. There is nothing sort of. So even imagine there is a Jira. Okay.
Why did it truncate for you when you gave a feature? Why did it truncate to 9 characters?
I don't know. That is something they're doing. There is nothing like that you can
Okay.
do. That is the online tool. This is some animated tool. Okay. Just to show you what's happening over behind the scenes. Okay. So you guys heard about the Jira ticket, right? Jira heard about it, right? Jira is actually our iWish. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
What right? So what happens is in a Jira, what happens is when you have issues, okay, you create a issues. Maybe I'll show you for something. Let me show you not this. Uh, Jira ticket. Jira ticket. Let me type. Getting to. Let me go to some image. Not this. This is how they create bugs and all. To do's in progress and all that. Right. Okay, but there is something I wanted to show. Not this. Jira ticket branching. Branching. If you do, there is something you guys see here. This picture. Uh, you see, right? There is a someone created a bug with the ID smart1032, and as a user should be able to use the exact key in the link issue description. Blah blah blah. Someone created an issue. Okay. And in that there is something called assigning. Let's say Shijo is working on this, so his name will be assigning. This is a Jira tool I'm explaining, but don't get into too much. What I wanted to understand is there is a branch, right? You see,
Right.
so there is something called plus button. When you do the plus button, it will be direct you to your repository. In that repository, you can create a feature branch along with this ticket and this name. Okay. That also shows how many commits you did. It also shows whether you have a pull request for that matter. Okay. So these are like an automated process. Okay. Generally, when you are working in a company, you will be having a tickets. Tickets will have a status and the assignee that you, and there is a branch creation and there is a pull request for the ticket. So once all is done, it will become done. No, that's idea. Okay. So
Yeah.
now why can't we implement this? Okay. So what we said, uh, we go to GitHub. Okay. So now what we did is, let me go to the GitHub. Okay, first. You guys also having a GitHub account, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys sign into your GitHub account first, all of you. This GitHub has been changed. There's so many animations are coming. if you go to your GitHub and once you log in GitHub, there is something called new. Okay.
New repository.
Create a new repository, and you can mention the owner as your choice. And if you are contributing or working for companies to anything, so you will have some problems, but eventually you have only one. I'll say Git session for now. Okay. Or whatever the repository what we created, Git day one, right? Let me copy that.
No, how did you begin? New, right?
Yeah, I've given this thing. I mean the new. Yes, give the new, and maybe this name is up to you, but I'm giving for my understanding. I'm giving the same name as this one. Okay, and give the repository name. Add a public. Okay, and this and all will do. We can skip it for now. Create a repository.
Just okay. So it says okay.
Okay.
All be done.
Yeah.
Okay, so far what we did, we created a repository on our local and we maintaining in local. So we never pushed into a remote. That means the GitHub for let's say.
Right.
To do that, there is something command called git remote add origin and the entire stuff. So which folder you have to push. So copy this folder and go to your console and say this one. Okay.
Hmm.
And you can say git push hyphen u and all, I don't know. Just copy paste and second two comments also. Okay, SRC not
No, before that you
okay.
create branch, right? Git branch main.
Yeah, but I don't know, there is something. Yeah, this is a you change into master. Your branch is master. And you happen to see this, all of you.
Just a minute.
Git origin main push underscore. Okay.
You change your main to master actually.
Okay.
There is some stuff. Then
No, just a
Failed
minute.
to push. Failed. So you can just show me the command once again. Yeah. Git push underscore origin. It's
no
showing
man,
failed.
you copy the other command. Okay, so okay, I'll send it to you this. Send it to you in the chat. So once you added the git remote add origin and you say which origin it has to go, and after that you say git push hyphen u origin master.
Why master? I mean, we are not getting master here, right?
That is something problem with the GitHub repository. This is the master, right? You are pushing to master.
Okay, so
And
what
try
is
to
the
Even no, wait. Git is saying main, okay, but it is having only main master here as a branch. So you have to specify which branch you are pushing. I mean, which folder, master branch.
okay?
both are not working. So for me, main and master I changed.
Yeah. Both are not
What?
failed to drift to.
Failed to push some refs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same
by the
thing.
way, this is successful. Git remote and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is fine.
Can you type git remote hyphen v in this command?
What is it? Remote.
Space hyphen v.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hyphen. Yeah, that is there.
That is there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It should work actually. Can some of you, can you share your screen? Anyone who is facing a problem?
I can share. Yeah.
Okay, get starter kit, origin main. You change it to, you go to your repository. Where did you create empty project? In the web, GitHub. Go to the place where you created. Are you sharing?
Yeah.
No, I'm seeing only your, you're sharing only the CMD.
No. You have to share everything.
Also 1 second. Now I can see.
Calm down. So what it is saying, push origin. So you did this. Okay. It started. Okay, can you try one more time? Git remote add origin, that one.
No, it will not. It will show error, right?
Try
Only there. Yeah.
remote
Remote.
origin exists already. Okay, git push. You try that. Git push. Master, yes. Enter. SRC master does not match any. Okay. Okay. Why? No. That's okay.
I think there is a okay.
No. Not that. They're doing this. Fine. So you made any commits in your local, by the way?
Yeah, I think that is not done. Maybe. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
You see
correct.
git add commit, git add commit, git
Yeah.
add dot. Okay, git commit you do. Git commit -m space -m some message. Okay. 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 Git. Okay, can you create an empty project altogether first?
Now, once committing is done, you have to create a branch also, right? No, that is not required, right? Okay.
That is not required. Already you created a branch itself.
So git
What I'm
commit, right?
saying,
It's
git
new
commit.
file is there.
Path spec commit did not match any files known to this. Okay, git commit -space -m. Down to git.
It requires a manual.
Yeah, just like this.
So when I said commit, right? When I said push into origin master, it is asking me for connect to GitHub, a pop-up has come.
Okay.
It is asking personal access token.
That is you are using a VS Code, right?
Huh.
Yeah, VS Code will do that. Path spec commit did not match any. Hey, Libin, what you can do is you can create a one more empty repository.
Okay.
Don't do this. You do by git init -repo cd space data. Okay, now you type git init. No, simply type git init. Git init. Wait, man. Oh, good man. You created a inside a git folder itself. Okay. Now you add the remote repository. I mean, git checkout, git remote add origin, all that. Hey, what is this, man? So strange. It's not trying to push some reps to GitHub or something. I have a different thing here.
Just it's showing one file is there.
I'm able to add. It's coming. It's working fine.
Okay. So can you use the VS Code as he said? I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, but you guys can do, man. Maybe Sijo, are you getting? Sijo, are you getting? By the way, you are also facing the same issue.
No, I'm getting. Is it again?
You are able to. You are able to. Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, then let's use the VS Code. Then I think I don't know. I don't know. Or else there is a CMD comes with your Git itself sometimes.
Yeah, Git bash, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Git bash. Maybe you can try that also. Okay, so now you see what we have done. So we just moved our code into a repository. Now
Yeah.
we are getting everything, pull requests, issues, and projects and all that. So there are ways. That's what you see nowadays when you do go to the somebody can download your project and do that. Okay, so this is how the connectivity between Git and GitHub happens. So that means they are two different independent things where GitHub or Bitbucket all implements a Git in their cloud environment so that we can collaborate with people for a development. Okay, and there is something called watch and unwatch. This is something to see someone. Let's say they wanted to. You can add a watches so they can see the progress, what's going on, and all that. And this all you know, right? This is a star. Just giving a star, number of stars. I like this stuff. But there is something called fork. You see, right? Fork. So fork basically what it does. We were talking. Let's say we want to contribute to the open source project. Am I right?
Hmm.
You want to contribute. So what you can do? So there is a steps to do that. First, you have to fork the project into your local. So
Okay.
if you do fork it, so you go to your place. So there are few projects are forked. You see, there is some symbol saying this.
That is fork. It means okay.
These are forked. Forked means you are taking a copy of someone project and you wanted to add some functionality or you want to keep a copy of it.
Okay.
Okay. For that time, you have to remember one thing for that time.
Hmm.
The fork will be up to date on the date which you forked it. It won't automatically get updated until you go and manually update it by yourself. Okay. To update manually, there is something called fetch upstream. Now you see what it's saying. This is 12 commits behind,
Okay.
right?
But
My
when
branch is 12. Sorry.
now see, for example,
Uh-huh.
when you fork it, and after that you work on that repository, right?
Yes.
Right. So now let's say you did some commit, and then if you want to get the latest commit from the original branch,
Mhm.
who will do the merging?
Yeah, that automatically Git does. That will
It,
ask you when you do that, when you update it, it will show what is the merge conflict.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
when you do the merge conflict, it will show there is a line 123, line number 23 is having hello, and you added hello 123 like that. It will show, and it will show accept this or accept that one.
Okay.
Right, we
Okay.
are doing a left and right comparison, right?
Same thing will happen.
Likewise, same thing will happen.
Okay.
I'll try to demonstrate that. So when you wanted to do this, you can call fetch and merge. Sometimes you can merge, compare and merge also. Now it is saying this branch is even. This is even with your master. So my branch and my fork and the actual source are similar now. Okay.
Okay.
So now why we fork this actually? Because we know why we are forking. We wanted to contribute. We wanted to say, hey, this is wrong. Just change this. Hey, this is right. Okay, let me add one more UI graphics in this because this is like a README files. README files, I'll explain what is that. It's like uses the Markdown stuff. If you open the README, it is developed on Markdown. Markdown stuff for just create some pages and all that.
Yeah.
So now what we understood is what is a remote repository and what is a forking and all that. Okay. Now let's try the one pull request, right? So that you have a better hands-on that. So what I'll do is, okay. So this is I created one account for a demo purpose in a GitHub. I created as a Praveen Zero, and I created one branch. I have only the read, right? Sign out from this. Sign into that. So you guys see there is one pull request
Yes, okay.
from me. This is another pull request from my another account. You see, okay. So let's get started. What we'll do is I'll create another branch, another code here. Okay. Let's create a new branch. Class 2 C2 I'll say. Okay. I simply add one readme file to the main branch. I'll create the repository. Okay, now what it says, once I created a branch, it says something because we want to sync this into our local. Anyway, I don't want to do that because I want to do only the pull request, right? So what I'll do is I'll go to this branch. So there is one readme file, right? Okay. What I'll do is let me copy this thing so that I can fork from my code. Let me log into my branch and I mean my SVN, my GitHub account. So what I'll do is I'll go to that code actually, and eventually I'll get a fork option. If I do a fork, it will show where to fork it because I have two different accounts I'm configuring. So this will be forked. It may take some time to fork it. Okay. So what you can do is now you can do cloning. Okay. By using this button, you can clone it. Okay. So what you can do is you can come out of this code. Okay. So you can use git clone option to clone this. Let's say what you can do is git clone and then this one. So it automatically brings your source code into your folder, that is C2. You see. So now what you can do is you can go to that folder, okay, and you can do clear now, and you can see git log, and it will show what is this origin main, origin head. Okay. Now comes the question. Okay. So now we'll do a branch creation. Okay. So since we have a latest code and we forked it, right? So what we do is we first create a branch. So what command for creating a branch is git branch. Let's say feature branch. I'll say feature 1. Okay. Once you do the feature branch creation, you have to call git checkout. Okay. Git checkout feature 1. So now it's saying switch to the branch feature 1, right? So can you able to relate what is happening? We have one diagram, right? What is the diagram I given? So there is the one diagram I shown you earlier, right? Like there is a flow of execution happens when you do this, all that, right?
Yeah.
So what we are doing is what we are doing is we have a main branch. It has a commit C1, C0. That's what we seen in the very first. And we are creating a branch, feature branch, and we are taking our head back to feature branch. So now you understood what is head. Head is the place where we are adding our commits, right? So now what I'll do is I'll take this file. I'm adding okay, some changes. Okay, say okay. I'll say this. Then I'll say git status now. It will show some changes. Git diff I'll do. It will show what is the diffs I have. Then I'll exit it. I'll say git add. I'll say git commit. Adding content. Okay, cool. So now added, right? So now I want to push this into my feature branch. I mean, I have to push it to my thing.
Yeah.
So it is saying git push feature 1. So, okay. So what is saying? So now if you go to the place where I have C2, okay, you automatically see there is something. You guys notice? If I go to this branch, it is saying feature 1 has a recent change. There is a main, there is a feature 1 branch I created, right?
Yeah.
And it's saying compare and pull request. So it's saying able to merge. Do you know what it is saying? So there is a Praveen branch, that is a base repository, which is the main branch. And there is a Praveen C2, that is my local repository. And I have a feature branch called feature 1, right? And there is no conflict. You are able to merge. So I'll write a please merge. I'll say, hey, please merge this. You can write anything, and see, by this they'll know, right? By seeing this file, you have done this. You can create a pull request. Now, what happens is, okay, checking for there is no conflict. All that it does when you go back to the actual repo. I think whether it shows my actual repo or not, also I don't know. But let me log in and log out to my repo for the matter of thing. See, the pull request remains open. Okay, there is another one. Okay, there is one pull request. Cool, right? And that is created by me adding account. I'll open this. Okay, I'll say merge pull request. You see, I have authority to do the merge pull request. I don't have to. I'll say merge. Okay, I'll merge it, and that's all merged.
Mm.
Then you see your code, Baba. You added, right? And this is very high level, and what we have to understand of it. Okay, and there are few more things are there. Okay, like what you call, sometimes you did some commit which is mistakenly, and you have to delete it.
Revert.
And sometimes you did some comma, for that you did one commit. Sometimes you added one space, you added one commit, all that you did. But eventually for the for the reviewer, if they happen to see your commit, right, it will say adding a comma, adding a space, because we do that often, right? So sometimes you have a 10 commits, all means in a way that they added one comma, space, and all that. So we wanted to make that is into one commit, all history into one. So, and then the merge conflict, all you face. Okay. And I'll talk about one thing for today because we are running out of the time. What I'll talk about now is, so since we did all this, we created a project, we cloned it, and we checked out and added a commit and created a pull request and all that, right? And we tried also upstream all that. Okay, I mean merging, I mean keeping your branch sync with the master branch. Okay, and there are few commits. One I said about the squash. So what I said, you have 10 commits, and the 10 commits differ only in some spaces. That time you can use a squash. Squash I'll try to explain the reset also, but I'll talk about the stash first. Okay, stash, for example, sometimes you're working on something, okay, and immediately someone says no, take that functionality and do it. We happen getting that, right? And we are halfway, we may be halfway in the development, and we, in order to do that, what we'll do, we take a whole copy of the code and then we'll come back. You might have changed the 10 files at a time, right?
Yeah.
But you wanted to take back into all that. So that means whenever you're doing edit somewhere here, right? For example, I'm adding like this some super 3 and all that. So this is, imagine I've changed it. If you say git status, definitely I have that file. If I say the git diff, I have that
Yeah.
because it is changed, right? No problem, all cool. So now what I'll do is I use command called git stash. You see that is gone, but that is gone to where?
Maybe like
That is gone. That is gone, but not really gone. It's kind of a gone. What I mean to say is, you saved your working copy in somewhere in the memory. Okay. So what you can do is you can say git stash listing. See what happened. So this is what I stashed. So git stash 0. Okay. So now how to bring it back, right? So anyhow, something I did. Okay, git stash, I'll give pop. I brought it back. Now if you see git stash list, and you won't see that. Nothing is there.
if there are multiple, how will you pop it? It will always take the first one, is it?
No, yeah, you can have a named one also. I think you can use the named stash also. Maybe stashing is, the stashing is completely another topic also, you have to think. But stashing is just this one only. You can take your development and name it something, and you can reapply whenever you wanted, and copying or removing and all that. Okay, so that is stashing. And if you want really interested, I'll send you some link for this matter. Then
Will-
there is something, sorry?
They'll be stored for some time also. It won't get deleted.
No, it will store forever in your
And-
system. Okay, it won't be saved in a remote. Okay, it will saved in your system with a name, with an ID, like this,
Okay.
and a hash.
Mm.
Okay, but one thing you always remember when you are communicating with your remote repository or something, it will be in your local only until you push it.
Mm.
That you have to remember. Okay, but now what advantage this gives you? Okay, it reduces the middleman effort. You change it, you add a feature, and you check in. Okay, manager, you review and you merge it if you want. I'm done with my job. You don't have to wait for someone to come and check in, right? So this is very, very basic and fundamental requirement, how you use the Git, how you commit the files, how you fork it, how you create a pull request and all that, right? So yeah, that's all very basic idea. But rest of the things I'll try to cover maybe upcoming session. So I'll try to complete it. If you have any doubt, just ask. Any kind of sort of doubts with respect to Git. I think this session maybe fulfill your starter, not
Yeah.
expertise, right?
Yeah.
But you should begin this. You should definitely begin this now. By having this mindset, you can create a project and you can share with the people. People can write a functionality. They can they take the code and they add a functionality. They send the pull request and you can merge it, right? Now there is other advantage also. Okay, for example, okay, Libina say that okay, I've done this functionality. You go and test it. Okay, so in order to myself to test it, first I have to bring this code to me in my local. Okay, so what I can do simply now, I can check out the branch from the Sijo or Libin. I'll get the code from Sijo branch or Libin branch and run my application again. So I'll get function to test it. Once it is done, I'll go back to my branch which I was there. Then I'll start working on it.
Mm.
Cool, right? So you are committing it, but someone wanted to test what we are doing. We are taking their branch code into ours. It's very simple, right? We say git check out the branch name. Git check out the branch name because branch is already created. You don't need the git branch command. You say Sijo's branch name, Sijo blah blah blah, and that will become the code will be copied back in your local secretary. Let's say you have a React application and you want to watch just working, it's completed. You take the code, it automatically copy to your local and you verified it. Once you verified it, you change your branch to main branch. Okay. And also you see something, your local changes, when you're trying to change the branch it is showing, please commit your changes or stash them before you switch between the branches. Imagine you are writing something, right? And in between someone says something is there in a master, can you verify? Yeah, you can stash it and come back and restore the stash. Okay. First of all, you guys can able to relate what I said first.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's a basic thing. So, but on the other hand, when we started seeing things like it's more of a commands, right? Tools and commands and tools and commands. But it's all about like that only. So because we are Windows user, for me it was quite complicated in the starting stages of this and all that. Even as I always say, I have so many things to understand. Especially there are few parts like git reset. There is some command called git rebase and all that is there. I'll explain, but this is like some advanced topic kind of. Okay. First you try this. Maybe will have it in another after session, maybe next week or something. I will try to explain what this does. But start your project and create a clone and start changing React project, whatever you're working, right? You create it every week, at least some 30 minutes. You work on it. You push your code to your GitHub repository every week. So you have hands-on in React and you have hands-on in GitHub also.
Yeah.
Right? So you won't lose your code, nothing. And also I show you, since if you have any problem, there is something called code sandbox. I think in the last week I shown you the code sandbox stuff, right? So with the code sandbox, what you can do is you can bring your repository directly from your repo to your editor, online editor, like this editor, and you can write it and you can directly save it. But I didn't work on this completely. Maybe I have to work on, let you know. So what you can do is you can simply bring your code from your repository. That's what I know.
Okay.
See, there is a repositories, right? you can import your repository from your GitHub and start working on it. So you don't have to physically save the code in somewhere in your system also.
Hmm.
You
Okay.
don't have to panic like you losing your code also. So
Mhm.
once you host your code in the GitHub, you're easy to go. Yeah, that is pretty much about GitHub and I mean a GitHub starter. I mean, not there are a few more things are there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this will give you some
So
insights.
who is maintaining GitHub? How are they maintaining the servers if it is a non-profit?
No, GitHub is acquired by the Microsoft now.
Oh, they are maintaining it.
Yeah, they have a free account. They have a paid account also. They're giving some lot of facility to the paid account. See, you
Okay.
can do plenty of things with the GitHub, okay? But I explained in a way that only about the developer perspective, okay? When you come about the DevOps perspective, you can write a CI/CD things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean you can branch out and you can automatically deploy into some servers and all that you can do.
Okay.
Okay, so that and all some sort of advanced things.
Mm.
So this is only free and you have a free account as well as paid account, but where a Bitbucket and the GitLab all are like a paid ones. They're giving some more facilities. So 4 customized projects and certain code I already shared you and keep creating it. These all will keep us keeply engaging ourselves in all that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool then.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
Suresh. Bye.
See you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.